What's going on, Conquistadors? It is Scotty, the Chunky Spaniard. Welcome back to Round Like Me. And it is Tuesday, which means it's time for a Tunes on a Tuesday. I messed up earlier and I said Tuesday. That actually might be a better day, but then people might get it confused with cartoons. So, I don't know. What do you think? Tuesday or Tunes on a Tuesday? I think since I already established Tunes on a Tuesday, I gotta stick with it. Christmas is coming ever so closer. I hope that made sense. So, I thought I would film in my house, this one, with my Christmas tree, my decorated mantle, and my black Santa shirt on, because I love this company for several reasons. I think I've mentioned it before, but I was wearing the sweatshirt in the last video, the Storytime Sunday, and now I'm wearing my shirt. He's got his like cool Run DMC glasses on. And company started by Baron Davis. If you don't know who Baron Davis is, you live under a rock, or you don't follow the NBA. Baron Davis, one of my favorite players of all time, and was a Warrior, and then he was a Hornet first, and then he was a Warrior in the We Believe era, and then went all over the place. But he started this company, and I love the message of being Santa to someone all the time. You can be Santa for someone all the time. The sweatshirt on the back, it says Be Santa. Such a cool idea. What a great concept to bless somebody, as much as I don't like using that terminology, but to always be looking out for people and being giving, being very, very giving. And not just during this holiday season, but throughout the year. So today's Tunes on a Tuesday. Now, that was a little sidebar, but back to the music. So, the Tunes on a Tuesday. Oh man, this one is interesting. I had planned on something else. This is the common theme right now. Sometimes these ideas just hit you. So today we're gonna talk about Christmas compilations. I know, kind of weird, right? But when it comes to holidays and things like that, especially when there's music associated, sometimes a good way to go is with a compilation. When I was in a couple different bands, we would always get asked to play holiday parties. And so that's where we would get our inspiration for certain songs that we would try and turn into our own. We really made it our own. You know, if you've watched American Idol, you've heard him say that. Man, I really love the way you made it your own. It's so good. Or The Voice. And so to hear these different people's interpretations of songs, that's where I would draw inspiration. Now, the very first compilation album I ever owned was A Very Special Christmas. And I got A Very Special Christmas 3. I remember going to the Best Buy in Mission Viejo. You can see it as you're driving south on the 5. It's on the right-hand side. And it's a big shopping center down below. And it was at that Best Buy that I went and bought this one. And the only reason I bought this one goes back to a lot of Tunes on a Tuesdays, like all of last month. No doubt had a song on this Tunes on a Tuesday called Oi to the World. Very Special Christmas, they have 7 different volumes plus a couple others, and they had a 25th anniversary come out about 5 years ago. And if you want to hear a lot of different artists across the board doing a lot of different songs, these are the albums you want to go to. Now, I will also say this, the albums are hit and miss, but hear me out on this, okay? I said they're hit and miss. The Very Special Christmas started out in 1987. They started putting out these albums in 1987, and so you've got Whitney Houston on albums, you've got Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, you've got all sorts of artists, Randy Travis, if you're a big country fan, across the board coming together, and A Very Special Christmas raised money for Special Olympics. So I don't feel bad when I'm helping out other people, even if the songs aren't what I had hoped. This album in particular, since I don't have this one memorized, I'm gonna read it straight from the CD jacket. Starts off with Sting, Smashing Pumpkins, another one of those from my high school years, Natalie Merchant. It has Rev Run and the Christmas All-Stars. Now this is interesting. This was way before Run's House and all of that, but Rev Run from Run DMC with Mace and Puff Daddy, Snoop Dogg, Salt and Pepper, Onyx. Oh, I loved Onyx in junior high. And Keith Murray. Whoa, like listen to that lineup. The Christmas All-Stars are hip hop artists? That's pretty rad. No doubt, Oi to the World, still my favorite track on here. But then as I started listening to it, there's Sheryl Crow, Blues Traveler, Enya. Enya was a thing back in the day. Hootie and the Blowfish. Okay. I love Hootie and the Blowfish. And I'm not scared to admit it. I love Hootie and the Blowfish. I've seen them live. They're awesome. They're really, really good. It was with Bella Fleck and the Flecktones. They opened. And then, who were mind-blowing musicians. And then Hootie came on, and it was just so good. Irvine Meadows, again. Oh, man. Irvine Meadows. R.I.P. Chris Cornell. Now, the other track that you would have to listen if you ever get this, and not just because of Chris Cornell's passing, but Chris Cornell sings Ave Maria. Oh my gosh. He was already one of my favorite singers before moving back to Orange County from my days in high school learning, you know, drums to Super Unknown. What a horrible album to start learning to drum on too, by the way, because Matt Cameron's an amazing drummer. But wow, Chris Cornell singing Ave Maria, his voice has always given me chills. This one was amazing. Mary J. Blige, Johnny Lang. Did you forget about Johnny Lang? It was Kenny Wayne Shepherd and Johnny Lang, those two blues guitarists. Maybe just because I was a guitar head at the time, but oh my gosh. Yes, Johnny Lang, so good. We're gonna talk about him down the road. Then you can't have a 90s Christmas album without this on there. Dave Matthews and Tim Reynolds doing the Christmas song, their Christmas song. Steve Winwood. Oh, Steve Winwood! Back in the high life again. If you haven't, save it. I'll save it. Steve Winwood's so good. Tracy Chapman, right? Fast Car, but that's not what's on here. She sings Oh Holy Night. And then Patti Smith, We Three Kings. So, 16 tracks, very diverse. Not gonna like all of them, but very special Christmas. I suggest going on iTunes, wherever you find music, Spotify, Pandora. I'm not sponsored by any of them, so I'm gonna mention them all. Go check it out. Very special Christmas, and go look at how diverse the lineups are for each of the albums. That's just fun to look through and go like, oh my gosh, let me check that out. And you're gonna be like, it was okay. And you'll check out a few of the really, really good ones. But Very Special Christmas, the first compilation I ever bought. So after that compilation, like I said at the time, I was really, really into guitar. I was reading every guitar magazine. I was practicing the tablature. I wasn't the greatest. I will 100% admit, I could probably never be a lead guitar player. But I got into this zone of just all guitar. I just wanted guitar, 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 guitar. So then I went and bought Merry Axmas, because that's what you call your guitar, your instrument. Merry Axe, the axe, your axe, right? This one, interesting. I just mentioned Johnny Lang because first person on this album is Kenny Wayne Shepherd, the person that I just mentioned before that. But these are all shredders, guitar virtuosos, if you will. Kenny Wayne Shepherd, Eric Johnson, Jeff Beck, Brian Setzer Orchestra, Joe Satriani, Steve Morse, Steve Vai, Joe Perry, Alex Lifeson, Richie Sambora, who I love, and a guy named Hote, it looks like Hotel, but I'm not sure. I never looked up who he was. But just that lineup alone, this is a really good album. If you love instrumentals and you love people kind of going off and doing their own thing. Maybe you were a Van Halen fan. You know how his solos never followed a straight line. They were all over the place. Merry Axmas. And they did come out with a Merry Axmas 2. Never got it. Totally different lineup of shredders. But this one is a good one. If you want a cool guitar album, Merry Axmas. Second on the compilation list. And I told you I was going to mention Hoey, Gary Hoey. Here's the Ho Ho Hoey 2. There was a Ho Ho Hoey 1 and a Ho Ho Hoey 3. There was even a best of the Ho Ho Hoey And now there's a Ho Ho Hoey anthology. Way too much Ho Ho Hoey. But if you're a big fan of surf guitar, this isn't a compilation, but I told you I was going to mention it, and I had it bunched together with my shredders because Gary Hoey is a shredder for surf guitar. But then everybody goes through phases, right? Everybody goes through these phases. Some people go through their emo phase, they go through their alternative phase. This, if you are a like early 2000s alternative fan, this is the album you need to go try and find on Amazon or used at wherever you can find used CDs. It is Maybe This Christmas. It's even got the Paul Frank monkey on there, so branding. Listen to the bands that are on this one. I'm not the biggest fan of this one. My wife actually likes this one, who isn't the biggest alternative fan, but she likes this album. Phantom Planet does Winter Wonderland. Ron Sexsmith, Maybe This Christmas. Coldplay, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. Vanessa Carlton. The only reason people know Vanessa Carlton right now, and they don't even know her name, is because of White Chicks, the movie. Gosh, she was good though. I think she dated the guy from Third Eye Blind for a while. Look that up, let me know. Vanessa Carlton, Bright Eyes, I don't know. Sensefield, okay. Jimmy World, whoa, 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 whoa. Love them. Jack Johnson, talented dude. Every song sounds the same. My favorite Jack Johnson album is the Curious George soundtrack. Bare Naked Ladies with Sarah McLachlan. So you know she's not singing about puppies and saving animals from the SPCA. If people watching this, you're like, who's Sarah McLachlan? Who are the Bare Naked Ladies? Bare Naked Ladies, group of Canadian musicians, all dudes, not Bare Naked Ladies, so don't get too excited. Sarah McLachlan, you may not know her, big Lilith Fair person back in the early 2000s, late 90s. Very good songwriter, but now just breaks your heart when they want you to adopt a dog. So Ben Folds, really cool guy. I mean, he seems like just the coolest guy. He seems like the coolest guy that is also brilliant but wouldn't make you feel stupid. But just by him talking, it makes you feel stupid. But he is like brilliant musician. Dan Wilson. Whoa! Why does that name sound familiar? No, he's not from Wilson Phillips, and no, he's not related to Rainn Wilson. Maybe he is. I don't know. Dan Wilson, lead singer of Semisonic. Some of you are like, who is Semisonic? You all know the song Closing Time. Closing Time. Yeah, that Dan Wilson. He's a really good songwriter too, like really accomplished songwriter. Super good. Neil Finn from Crowded House. What? And Lorena McKennitt. I don't know that one. Her song's called Snow. If Snow was on here singing some Informer, then I'd be really down. But it's not. She's just singing about snow. Okay, so it's time to shake it out. Whew. A lot of compilations. And surprisingly, the final compilation I want to talk about today is this one. It was from the NBC Holiday Collection years ago. You could get it at Target. I don't know if you still can because it was a while ago. Let me look at the date. Yeah, 2005. But Sounds of the Season. Now this one was the album that my buddy Andrew and I, who were in the duo Belarios, kind of gravitated towards the most. And you probably still hear some of these songs on the radio now. It really was more in the vein of the music that we were playing. We were an acoustic duo. We did a lot of Jason Mraz covers. We threw in some Damien Rice. We were trying to throw in a lot of other acoustic-driven artists and tunes. And so this album is actually such a good one. Oh, I wasn't expecting much. It was a Target. I wasn't too sure. But I wanted it for one artist and one artist alone, and turned out being pleasantly surprised by this entire album. It goes down the list. Here's the list of artists in order, and you can probably find this on iTunes somewhere, hopefully. I haven't looked that one up yet. Goo Goo Dolls, Better Days. You know the intro to that. Dun, 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 dun. Gavin DeGraw does Silver Bells. I love Gavin DeGraw. Got to hang out with him one time at a concert. He played second in a lineup of 3 bands, and he was the nicest guy. Even after having a conversation with him, and I'll tell this story again probably later on, but even after hanging out with him early on during the show, and the next band performing, and him meeting a bunch of other people, I went up and wished him luck on his career. This is like first album, Gavin DeGraw. And he remembered my name. After like 2 hours of mingling with other people, that sticks with you. When you're walking off and he's like, "Hey Scotty, it was nice to meet you and your wife." What? Fan for life right there. And cool dude. So Gavin DeGraw was second on this album. Rob Thomas, Matchbox 20 fame. Rod Stewart, that's kind of like the one that they threw in here, and I was like, wait, what? Rod Stewart? So after Rod Stewart and that interesting little twist, because you got Goo Goo Dolls, Gavin DeGraw, Rob Thomas, right off the bat. All, at the time, super current musicians. I still feel that they're all very relevant because they put out real music. That is a little slam for today's music, so suck it, today's music. Leigh Nash. She was the lead singer. If she sounds familiar, you're like, why do I know that name? Lead singer of Sixpence None the Richer. Christian band that gained pop fame when they did the cover of There She Goes. Then they had Kiss Me. I'm sure they had a million songs in early 2000s music, or soundtracks. But Leigh Nash, Ray Charles, you can't go wrong with Ray Charles. I don't care if it's an alternative album. You throw Ray Charles in, it's perfect. It's money every time. Michael Bublé, the dude is a crooner, and it doesn't even look like he's trying when he sings. He's unbelievable. Unbelievable. So dorky, but unbelievable voice. After Michael Bublé, Seal. I love Seal. I know you wouldn't think that based on other music I've mentioned, but the guy can sing. He can sing. And I don't just love Seal from Kiss from a Rose, even though that was a great song on a really cheesy version of a Batman movie. But, you know, baby, I believe I do the Kid from a Rose. And it's a great joke. Like, people, as much as it's such a good song, people do turn it into good humor. But Seal, and then the reason I bought this album. One of my favorite artists, and one of the most talented guys I've seen live, vocally, Jason Mraz. Jason Mraz sings Winter Wonderland. And that's why I got this album to share with Andrew, and I was like, okay, we gotta listen to this. If you have not seen Jason Mraz is on Broadway right now in the musical Waitress with Sarah Bareilles. Oh man, another super talented artist. But Mraz, if you ever get to see him live, go. Go, go, go. Jason Mraz. Vocally, he is always on point, and he has one of the best ranges and purest voices I've ever heard live. Ever. And he always has amazing musicians with him, and he always has amazing musicians opening for him. Amy Grant, super huge popular singer in the 90s, probably late 80s, 90s. Now married to Vince Gill, one of the best country guitarists of all time. Jimmy Summers, I don't know who that is, but it was featuring Chris Botti, B-O-T-T-I. Great trumpet player. Also has a Christmas album out. If you like the sound of trumpet, he's really, really good. Jazz trumpet player. And then Earth, Wind, and Fire. They round it out. They throw some soul in there with Ray Charles, and they get the Earth, Wind, and Fire there to end it. But Sound of the Season, it was an NBC holiday collection. Crazy, right? But such good songs all on one compilation. So that's it. Compilation albums. What Christmas compilation albums do you love? Do you have any? We're gonna get into my favorite Christmas albums next week because it's the week before Christmas. And the next Tunes on a Tuesday after that falls the day after Christmas. So I don't know if you're allowed to do Christmas songs on the day after Christmas. I'm sure people still listen to it, but I think I'm going to start doing something totally different. So, Christmas compilations, go check them out. Go give them a listen. Tell me what you think. What are your thoughts? What did you like? What didn't you like? What would you have purchased? Did I waste my money? But I've had them for years. Obviously, you can see that. So thanks for watching. Thanks for always coming back. I hope you enjoy Tunes on a Tuesday. I love Tunes on a Tuesday because I get to talk about one of my favorite things in the whole world, music. Remember, Conquistadors, be a better person tomorrow than you were today, because there is always room for improvement. And I'll see you Thursday, where we will be talking about a Dear Parents. Last week we did a Dear Students. This week we're going to be doing a Dear Parents. It's going to be an interesting one. But take care, be good people, and I'll see you next time. Bye.